adjust my levels here. It's a little less oppressive. Hi there, I'm Jenny. Welcome to the live stream. I started the carnivore diet on December 2022. In December 2022, sorry. I'm all discombobulated. The boys are not asleep yet, but Sage is here taking care of them. Let me start again. Welcome, I'm Jenny. I've been on the carnivore diet since December 2022. I have been tracking my progress through weight measurements, DEXA scans, continuous glucose monitoring, tons of blood work, and also a CAC scan, CIMT, lots and lots of tests. Always on the lookout for more tests to get done to get more data points. But I just passed my 9-month mark on the carnivore diet. Can't believe I actually made it this long. And today I am going to just give you a channel update, let you know what I've been working on, and then open up the floor to you for any kind of questions that you have. If you are watching the live stream right now, let me know where you are watching from. I love seeing where everybody is. It's all around the world. It's crazy. Crazy how YouTube brings us together. And yeah, so if you would like a little bit more behind the scenes kind of stuff, I post on Instagram every single day, stories, reels, posts, pictures, and things like that. So you can follow me over on Insta at Mama Mitich, M-I-T-I-C-H. And yeah, lots and lots of fun stuff over there if you'd like to see a little bit more, you know, personal life, seeing what's going on, all that kind of stuff. Plus really fun products that I'm testing and all that jazz. So let's start with what the heck is going on, because it's a really busy season for me right now. October, Halloween. I just released the exterior Halloween video that came out on October 1st. And just today I finished my interior Halloween video that will also include a recipe for a beef tallow chocolate crunch bar. It has 1.8 grams of carbs, and it's made with mostly beef products. And I modified this recipe from a recipe that I found online because I had a lot of tallow that I wanted to use. And I was like, you know what? It's Halloween time. Maybe we should have a chocolate recipe that we can actually indulge in. I probably wouldn't make this all the time, but it's a tasty treat. So that recipe is going to be a part of the interior Halloween vlog. I'm aiming to release that tomorrow. I mean, I literally just finished it like, I don't know, 2 hours ago or something like that. So I just have to upload it, put a thumbnail together, and then that's going to be out for you to enjoy. And then I think what I'm gonna do is also make the chocolate crunch bar into a freestanding on its own video, because, you know, I don't want people to have to go through all of the Halloween stuff anytime they're trying to make a chocolate bar. So I'll make that as its own freestanding recipe video too, without, you know, Halloween music or Halloween anything. So you can refer to that later. That should be released hopefully next week. We'll see if we have time for that, but that'll definitely be this month. Let's see. Okay. So I've been doing a review of the Cyfox at-home blood test. I do a lot of blood related, like blood work stuff on this channel. I'm always trying to get you know, more data points for my carnivore diet experiment. So I've been using the Cyfox Health at-home blood test for, I think this is the 3rd or 4th time that I've used them. And I wanted to see just how accurate they are as opposed to, you know, when compared to, I should say, a traditional blood draw. So I put them head to head and I got the results back. So I just finished up the script for that, the second half of that video. I'm hopefully filming that tomorrow, but it's probably going to be more like next week because we've got a very, very busy couple of weeks coming up. So I'm trying to fit that in, but I'm really hoping that video will be released on Sunday. Sorry, my boys are crying. It's okay, baby. My wonderful nanny Sage is here to care for them, so I'm not neglecting them. They are being cared for. They're just very tired. So hopefully that video will be released on the 8th. If not, I'm going to release that video on the 15th. So we'll see what happens. But that's been very interesting, testing the Cyfox at-home blood test with the LabCorp blood draw to see if it's worth it to spend the money on that at-home blood test. Is it actually worth it? We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out. Oh, so On Monday, my husband and I just went in and got a whole battery of tests. For me, I got testing done for my 9-month carnivore diet update. And you can see this giant bruise. Ew, that's horrible. She had to poke me 5 times to get blood out of me. It's a process. My veins suck and they're tiny and horrible. And she's gotten blood out of me before. It was the same lab tech that we've used in the past. But yeah, she just had a hard time. So now I'm bruised for our test gathering purposes, but I'm still waiting for that blood work to come back. That's the last step. I have a CAC scan that I have the results for. I have my Lifeline screening that I have the results for. That's like where they do the carotid arteries. They do an ultrasound of your abdominal artery. They put blood pressure cuffs on your wrists and your ankles, and then they listen for the blood flow. And yeah, I've got all those test results. So now I'm just waiting for the 9-month blood work, and then I can throw together my 9-month carnivore diet update video. And I'm contemplating separating those into blood work, 1 video, 9-month carnivore diet update, another video, kind of like I did with the 6 months. So I don't know. We'll see how that turns out. Really, it just depends on time, because, you know, you got to have time to edit all this stuff, and it's just me. It's just me doing this stuff. Okay, finally for the final video that I have in the hopper is the apple orchard. So we go to an apple orchard every single year. I have an apple orchard vlog for you, along with a delicious recipe that I got from a viewer, from a comment. It's an oxtail bone broth. And it does have some herbs in it. It ended up so tasty. And if you're not doing carnivore, if you're doing more of a keto, or if you can have some vegetables, if you added some veggies to this oxtail bone broth, oh man, holy smokes. It's the perfect soup or bone broth for the fall. So that's gonna be a part of that video. I, you know, just gotta keep going down the line. So hopefully I'll have that video for you in the next like week or 2. So that's what's coming up content-wise. I have a bunch of shorts I need to process too. It's kind of been a lower priority for me right now. I'm really trying to get the big videos out. Boys, Max and Harry, they are turning 2 in November, and we're having their birthday party a little bit early. So it's been quite hectic. It's gonna be a smaller party than it was last year, but still small, you know, with my family and with my husband's family is not really small. So we have everything planned for that. That's going to be happening here very soon. And I, you know, probably need to focus a lot on that. So I don't think we're going to be having a live stream next week. It really just depends on how that goes. And I don't want to stress myself out too much. You know, I just want to be chill. Last year, I stressed myself out way too much. It was stupid. So this year I'm trying to be more calm and collected. And we already have all the decor. We're using like the exact same decorations, harvest themed, but since we're doing it before Halloween, we're adding some spooky touches, but nothing crazy. You know, I already have everything in line. So it's just, it'll be fine. I keep convincing myself of this. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. So before we move into the questions and answer part, I just wanted to share with you a couple of videos that I watched this week that I really enjoyed. I've linked them in the description of this live stream already. They're there. And I think they're worth a watch. The first one is from Dr. Fung. He's big in the fasting world. Everyone knows who Dr. Fung is. And the video I watched was called, Can Fasting Reverse Kidney Disease? And the reason I liked this video, it was short, it was sweet, it was 11 minutes long. And he gave a really easy to understand analogy of what's happening when you start to see damage from pre-diabetes and then into diabetes, and then how you can reverse kidney damage. It was really a great video. I've linked that in the description. I liked that one a lot. His entire channel is great. I'm pretty sure I linked his channel in the description of this live stream too. And then I watched a video from Dr. Siwes on blood work. I think the title of this video was Is Paul Saladino Right? So Dr. Saladino has been doing, he was strict carnivore, and then he's transitioned more into a meat and fruit kind of diet. And so Dr. Siwes had a patient that was very strict carnivore, and he was seeing certain blood markers, certain numbers. So he ended up prescribing this particular person to have some carbs, some milk, and I think a little bit of fruit and something else, and it improved his numbers. This guy was like super metabolically healthy though. I think he had a body fat percentage of like, I don't know, something that's really good. I don't even know what really good is at this point in the evening. But he was kind of an exceptional person. So I think the point of that video was just like, if you are, first off, it's highly individualized. Second, metabolically healthy in all these different ways, but having a few quirks in your blood work, it's good to have a doctor that knows what the heck they're talking about so they can adjust a few things. Really interesting video. If you're into blood work at all, I've linked that video in the description. I would love to do a bunch of blood work with Dr. Silas and have him evaluate mine. I think that would be dope. I should probably get in touch with him. The final video that I really liked this week was the insulin sensitivity in the obese patient. This was really interesting. This was a lecture. I believe it was on low carb conferences or low carb down under. It was one of the low carb conference type settings. And the lecturer was talking about how being obese doesn't immediately equal that you are insulin resistant. There is a phenotype in the population of people that are overweight, obese, technically obese, but not insulin resistant. They're insulin sensitive. So she goes through all of the different kind of like markers of like how this comes to be and like what symptoms or what characteristics these people have. So that was really, really an interesting watch for me. I loved it. I've linked it in the description for you. I'm a big dork. I watch a ton of lectures. Oh my gosh. All right. Finally, books I'm reading. So I'm still getting through. All right. I'm still getting through Good Calories, Bad Calories. This is a huge book, taking it, you know, page by page. I'm also reading a book in the similar vein, Why Calories Don't Count. And then I started reading this book here, Lipid Lunacy. Its sister book, I think, is something about why cholesterol doesn't cause heart disease or whatever. I don't know. I'm gonna read that one next, but this one is really good. I've really been liking this one. Talks about the thrombogenic hypothesis and how plaques are more likely to not be cholesterol, but blood clots building up over time. So I'm diving into that book. It's been very interesting so far. And finally, before we get into questions, I just got in the mail today a 20-pound package of different steaks and things from Ozark Valley Beef Company. This is American Wagyu beef. And the owner of the company got a hold of me and wanted me to try out his products. And if I like them, I'm gonna be able to get you guys a discount. So I will let you know, we're gonna eat up all this meat really quick, I'm sure. From the quick look that I got in the cooler right before this live stream, there was like sirloins, ribeyes. I think there were some ribs in there, lots of different options. So I'm really excited to try that meat because, you know, who doesn't like Wagyu beef, but it's just so freaking expensive. But, you know, American, it won't be as expensive, right? So awesome. Okay. That's all the check-in stuff. So I'm gonna start at the very beginning of our comments, and I'm gonna go down and I'm gonna answer your questions. So first off, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a scientist. I am a person that's been just doing a carnivore diet experiment on herself, and you know, for 9 months. So I can answer questions, you know, if you want to ask me questions about blood work or things like that, but I do not take it as personal medical advice. I can't give you any kind of medical advice. This would just be more of an educational thing, and I'll try to steer you in the right direction if you have questions related to that stuff. I do have, you know, some experience with that, but again, not a doctor, so take it with a grain of salt. Hello, Angela. Hello, Jean. Hello, is it Katie? All right. Hi, Jenny. First time catching you live, but I love your videos. I am 5 months and I made a channel inspired by channels like yours. That's great. That's awesome. I'm going to have to come over and check out your channel. Candice, hello from Arkansas. Hello from Arizona, Steven. Oh man, Yes, I think you're referring to the chocolate bar. Says that sounds like a tasty recipe my kids would like. The chocolate bar turned out really, really good. Now, I'm not a baker. I was never, even before carnivore. So I feel like somebody that has experience with candy making or baking in the past would be able to throw a few more flavors into this chocolate bar and make it like sing, you know? I've made it twice now and they're good. It's definitely good, but I feel like there's something else we could add to it that wouldn't up the carbs, you know, maybe some kind of spice or something. I don't know. But I think it's going to be really good. Yes. So chocolate, yeah. I mean, if you're sensitive to oxalates, perhaps you wouldn't want to do that, but it doesn't seem to bother me. How long do you want to keep testing your blood and other markers? Is there a time frame, like a year or more? Okay, so for me, I'm doing all of these blood tests. I'm getting blood work done once a month, and that is for these videos. I like to share the data with you guys. I just did like a BBB&E experiment where I just ate beef, butter, bacon, and eggs for a month. So I did a before blood work and an after blood work. I'm probably going to be doing another similar-ish experiment with food, just switching a few things here in the next 2 weeks after the boy's birthday. I can't do anything before that. It's just too much going on. But that's why I'm getting all this blood work done. Personally, if I didn't have a YouTube channel that I was sharing this data with, I would probably get blood done maybe at the most once every 6 months. But one of the pluses of getting my blood work done this often is I am able to see the ranges for my numbers. So I'm typically getting standard lipid panel and advanced lipid panel, which is like a lipid particle size test. I get a bunch of blood sugar related numbers, inflammation related numbers, and then occasionally I'll also get some vitamin stuff. So like this time around, the stuff that I just got done in the 9-month blood work, I ended up getting a vitamin C test. I purchased all of these tests on ownyourlabs.com. It's just a website that you can go on and you can purchase whatever blood work that you want. They don't have, you know, everything under the sun, but they have a lot of stuff. And it's reasonably priced. And then they use LabCorp to do the blood draws. So you just get an email from them and you just print that out and bring it over to LabCorp whenever you want and get the blood drawn. But yeah, the vitamin C test was $50, which is pretty expensive for a single test. So it's also not something that's tested regularly, but I've had a lot of people asking or commenting about how you can't get vitamin C, or at least the levels that you need to be healthy on a carnivore diet. So I was like, screw it, let's just get a vitamin C test this time around. I think I threw in a couple of, I did like a urinalysis this time. I've had a couple of people ask about kidney related numbers, so got that done. But yeah, I don't know. I think as like a normal person, if you're going to be doing carnivore, I would say before you start, get some blood work because you need to know your baseline. The only baseline I had before I started carnivore was a doctor's appointment from May of 2022. And then I started carnivore at the end of December 2022. So I just use that as my baseline. But if you haven't had blood work in a really long time, I think people should get it done at least once a year. You got to know where you stand. You got to know your numbers, you know, I mean, that's part of it. Blood work isn't everything, you know, and there's a million other things that go into, I guess, being informed, managing your metabolic health and kind of being in tune with what's going on. But I like blood work. I think it's fun. It's a nice little snapshot in time of what the heck's going on, you know? All right. Jean from Florida. Have asthma. Just confirmed. Okay. 74 and just came out of the hospital with breathing issues. Starting carnivore diet really soon. Will diet cure the asthma? That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that, but I have talked to a lot of people in the comment section of my videos that have asthma, that it has greatly improved or gone into remission. Again, it's highly individualized, so we're just going to have to wait and see. I really hope it goes away for you because asthma is horrible, but we're just going to have to try it out and see. Trickster 726, hello. Fruit on the carnivore diet. So the whole fruit and meat thing, I wouldn't consider that carnivore. I would consider that a meat-based diet or the meat and fruit diet. Carnivore diet is just at its most lenient, I would consider the carnivore diet to be meat, seafood, eggs, butter, and dairy. I think that's like the biggest, the largest amount of items that you would consider. I would not consider fruit or honey to be on the carnivore diet. Once you start moving into sugars like that, that would be an animal-based diet, in my opinion. Which, you know, that's just one person. So, do I think it's bad? I guess would be the next part of that question. It depends on the person. I think that if a person is metabolically healthy, insulin sensitive, low inflammation, is getting some exercise, is feeling pretty good, and they have been doing carnivore and they want to introduce a little bit of fruit, I would say do it one fruit at a time and see if you have any reaction. The carnivore diet's a great elimination diet, you know, so who knows if you've been having reactions to fruits and vegetables. So for me personally, I wouldn't just start eating a bunch of things at the same time. I'd probably do like an apple once a day for 3 days, see if I had any reaction, and then move on from there. But especially for people that are like Dr. Saladino, he's very physically active. I mean, he's got, you know, he's stacked, you know. So for him, it's not going to be as much of a problem, or really any problem at all. But for a person with type 2 diabetes, it's a totally different story, right? So I think we just need to keep that in mind. I think the whole point of carnivore, well, one of the points is to lower blood glucose and to get off of carbs, break carb addictions. But yeah, you're gonna get different opinions on that. I am not super, I don't think the carnivore diet is the only healthy way to eat. I think that there are lots of different healthy ways to eat. And again, highly individualized. So that's my opinion on it, at least. Let's see here. Hello, high-tech hillbilly. Nice to see you. Insulin resistance video sounds so interesting. I believe I had it when I was 240 pounds. I lost 65 pounds with keto and carnivore. Yeah, that video is great. You should, it's in the description of this video. She has like scrubbed a bunch of different really high quality studies that looked at this topic, insulin sensitivity in the obese patient. And it was like a 30-minute watch. Totally worth it. All right, Trickster. I'm on day 5 of the carnivore diet and my gums are like swollen and bleed super easily. Is that normal? I feel like meat gets stuck between my teeth super easily. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. For me personally, when I started the carnivore diet, I had a little bit of bleeding gums before I started. Let's just start there. It was just like if I flossed a little too aggressively or brushed, like sometimes I would have a little bit of bleeding. After I started carnivore, about a month in, that was one of the first things I noticed, was that my gums were no longer bleeding and that I did not have any kind of like bad breath at all. Not that I had like horrible breath beforehand or anything like that, but I would always have mints with me. You know, if I was like going into a restaurant to meet up with people, I'd put a mint in. And I don't have to do that anymore. That was kind of an unexpected thing. So swelling and inflammation in the gums, I honestly don't know. I mean, hopefully that will improve in the next few weeks. I would think it would. At least for me, it improved for me, so. Does anybody else out there have an answer to that question? If you do, leave it in the comments. Even if this is after the live stream, leave it in the comments of the replay so that we can get the answer to that question. High Tech Hillbilly, 430 down to 315 with keto. Wow, that's awesome. 315 to 289 with carnivore in 21 days. Heck yeah, that's amazing. Yeah, my husband lost 130 pounds on keto. He used to be, I think, 400-ish pounds or close to there, and he lost 130 pounds on keto and has now been doing carnivore and really enjoying it. So that's awesome. Yeah, I mean, when you have a lot of weight to lose, it comes off quick. It's very motivating, very motivating. For me, I was 195 pounds basically, and I am now down into the very low 160s. I'll reveal that number in my 9-month carnivore diet update video, but yeah. So now the weight is starting to, I don't want to say it's starting to come off a little slower, because with my BBB&E experiment, I lost 6.5 pounds in a month, and that's a lot for me. The most I've ever lost in a month is 8 pounds. That was the first month. So that's amazing. I'm super, super, super happy for you. All right. Sherry, hello. Can you think of a reason why my hot flashes have returned on carnivore post-menopausal at 59 years old? I have no idea. That sucks. That sounds terrible. How long have you been on carnivore? That's an interesting thing. I'm trying to think of some creators that I know that create content on postmenopausal women, because that is a thing. I know Dr. Elizabeth Bright, that is one of her specialties, is perimenopausal and postmenopausal women. So maybe if you haven't looked at her stuff, check out her stuff. I think Dr. Barry has a couple of things on menopausal women. That's something I'm gonna need to look up. I will have to look that up. Let me write that down, because that's an interesting question. Let's see here. No, you mentioned it. Okay, I know you mentioned it in your other videos, but what supplements are you taking post hair loss? I'm 90 days this Sunday and kind of nervous if I will hit. Okay, if I will hit in month 4 or 5 and want to be proactive. Okay, so when I first started losing my hair, so for people that haven't watched my other videos, I experienced some pretty significant hair loss around the 4.5 month mark, like a lot. My hair is so thin now, right up here. When it's not like washed and done, it looks like crap. Very thin. Not that I had super thick hair anyways. I have fine hair, but it was thicker. Anyways, I lost a shit ton of it, and it was very scary. It stopped around 6 months. It's something called telogen effluvium. Telogen effluvium. I think that's the correct pronunciation. And it happens when you have an extreme stress on your body. It puts your hair follicles into a resting phase, and they go dormant, and then a bunch of them fall out. This can happen with extreme diet changes, extreme weight loss, death in the family, childbirth, any kind of surgery, or just like hardcore stress. And I think for me, I had just had the twins, I think about 18 months before the hair started falling off. Plus I was really stressed out. Plus I had 15-pound weight loss in 3 months, and I had changed my diet drastically. So I think all of that kind of went into it. So when I first started having the hair loss, it freaked me out. I got some blood work done initially. I thought maybe it was thyroid. It wasn't. I haven't done the full thyroid panel though. I just had the TSH. So maybe there's some other stuff going on with the other numbers. My doctor thought it might have been long COVID, because that is a common symptom of people that have had long COVID. But I wasn't convinced. I don't think I've ever had COVID. If I have, it was never diagnosed. It's never come up in a test. I've always tested negative. So it's kind of like, maybe. And then I watched a few videos. I did, a quick YouTube search and found a few videos about keto or carnivore related hair loss. From Laura Spath. That was a really good one. I think Dr. Ken Berry had one, and then there was another creator. I think I listed the 3 of those videos out in my 200-day carnivore diet update when I had the hair loss stuff. So I watched those and I felt 100% better. I'm like, oh, okay, this makes sense. This makes sense. One of the things that I did after I learned about that was I increased my protein. You got to make sure you're getting enough protein. Hair is protein. That's all it is. It's just protein. And if you're not getting enough in your diet, your body will prioritize keeping you alive and deprioritize hair growth. So I know that sounds stupid because, eating carnivore, you're eating meat. You would think that you were eating protein. But in the beginning stages of carnivore, I was focusing a lot on the fat ratio. I was trying to keep my fat really high. At least 70% of my total calories were coming from fat. So I wasn't focusing as much on the protein because I was like, well, it should just follow that I'm getting enough. But again, I track my calories like through MyFitnessPal. And I looked back on my protein intake, and sometimes it was like 70 grams in a day or 90 grams, which is not enough. That is nowhere near enough for me. I'm in the low 160s. I should be getting at the very least like 1 gram of protein per pound of lean body mass. There's lots of ways you can calculate protein, but that's how I like to do it. So I try to get at least 130 grams of protein a day, but me on average now, I'm probably getting between 150 and 180 grams of protein a day. And I don't know if that has helped, you know, slow down the hair loss, because typically the hair goes into a dormant phase and then it just falls out and there's not really much you can do about it, but you can prevent that from happening if you get enough protein. So make sure to focus on protein. I was taking biotin for a minute, but I did a bit more research and it seems like biotin, like the whole biotin skin, hair, and nails thing is just marketing bullshit. So I stopped taking the biotin. So for now, the only supplements that I'm taking are D3, 10,000 milligrams a day, and K2. They work in conjunction together. And then I'm also getting sunlight, trying to. I live in the Chicagoland area, so it's beginning to, the sun is beginning to fade. And in the winter here, it's garbage. It's just gray skies. So I'm trying to get that up as much as possible before winter and through winter so that I don't get depressed and you know. But that is what I've been doing for my hair. And yeah, protein. I think that's the main thing I could say for that. That was a long-winded ass answer. Sorry. All right, I'm gonna get back here. Cool. AP, have you noticed any positive changes to your energy levels and gut health after starting the carnivore diet? Great question. Yes, I have. But it's kind of a double-edged sword. So I also have twin toddlers and work full time and, you know, whatever. We all have busy lives. So I feel tired a lot, mostly because I'm not getting enough sleep. But when I still have energy to do everything. That's something that I've noticed. The first month sucked on carnivore. I felt very fatigued, very weak, a little bit of diarrhea. But I just felt mostly just like that. So I increased my electrolytes. That helped. Within 6 weeks of starting, I started to feel a lot better. And then up until like 120 days, I felt great. And then I hit a wall. From month 4.5 to like day 180, I was losing hair. I felt like crap. I had been sick a couple of times. I wasn't getting good sleep. The boys were going through a sleep regression. So then I got, you know, felt better. I increased my protein, feeling a lot better. All summer felt a lot better. And then I kind of hit a bit of a wall again. I've been feeling really tired lately. But that's, again, the boys have another sleep regression and stress. So yes, I have had increases in my energy levels. I feel much more productive than I did before. My sleep is better. I just wish the boys wouldn't wake me up in the middle of the night, and I need to go to sleep a little bit earlier. But in general, yes, I think the carnivore diet's been great for my energy levels. Let me see if I answered that full question. I'm working on figuring out my live streaming game here. I realize doing this on a phone really sucks. So as soon as I have some time, I am going to be doing a little research and getting a tutorial on doing some really cool live streaming software so that I can actually put your guys' questions up on the screen and stuff. So just bear with me for a few weeks while I do this. Gut health. Have I seen any improvements in my gut health? I don't know how I would be able to tell that. I know when I started carnivore, once everything evened out after that, you know, the keto flu symptoms and stuff, I do not have gas ever. No gas whatsoever. Eating meat, eggs, and butter and seafood. I do notice that when I do my keto cheat meal once a month, I do typically a keto cheat meal once a month where we eat some vegetables. I noticed that for a day or two after I eat those that I have gas. That was really interesting. But as far as like other markers of gut health, I would just assume the increased energy would be a product of that. So, all right. Yes. Yeah, the depression, the panic attacks. I have had mental health struggles, you could say, since I was 13. Diagnosed with depression and anxiety. And through my late teens and up until my mid to late 20s, I had a pretty serious drug addiction and hardcore drinking. So mental health stuff is a topic that's very close to my heart. And my mental health has definitely improved on the carnivore diet. I noticed that one pretty quickly. I noticed when I eat a lot of sugar, I don't do that anymore, but when I was eating sugar, that would really trigger some anxiety stuff with me. And I've also noticed, though, this is a weird one. I don't know if anybody else has experienced this. When I consume dairy, I do not include dairy on my version of the carnivore diet very often because it slows my weight loss progression. But also I've noticed that if I have too much dairy, I start to feel like depressed. I feel depressed the days after. Just kind of, because I'm generally a very positive person. I've worked very hard to become that person, this version of myself. And yeah, it's so weird with dairy. So yes, in general, carnivore diet, I think, has improved my mental health stuff as well. I'm loving it. Hence why I've stayed on it for as long as I have. Let's see, where are we going? Okay, Rashid, hi, are you looking at the kidney health? Yes. So as part of my 9-month testing, I got a comprehensive metabolic panel. I got some different, I got a urine test that has a lot more kidney numbers in it. Generally, when I'm looking at any of the numbers related to my kidney health, everything is good. But I wanted to dive into that a little bit more. And definitely for my 1-year blood work, I am going to go hardcore on that. I really want to see, because I get that comment a lot about, oh, eating this much meat is going to hurt your kidneys. And from everything that I've read and watched, it can actually improve kidney health. So far, so good. Kidneys are doing good. All right, I'm just starting to get windows of time where energy is improving, but it's not fully sustained yet. Did you too notice your energy ebb and flow initially and then flip a switch where the energy stayed up? It's a great question. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like my energy levels are consistently high. It ebbs and flows, and that's related to the stress in my life, the sleep, what I'm eating. There's just so many things that go into it, unfortunately. I really wish I felt super energized all the time. Maybe when my kids are older and can feed themselves and not wake me up at 5:30 in the morning. We'll see. All right. Yes. That's a good point. Nourishment Redacted. Kelly Hogan has a lot of guests who are 50 plus. That's a great channel to watch for perimenopausal and postmenopausal questions. All right. Yes, Steak and Butter Gal says that stress causes hair loss. Yes, that can be one of the causes for sure. It can be physical stress. It can be stress from, a surgery. It can be, I think the stress for me was babies and changing my diet so drastically and losing all that weight really quick. I know 15 pounds doesn't sound like a lot of weight, but it was a lot of weight for me, and it made my hair fall out. So yeah, stress is definitely one of the causes of telogen effluvium. All right. Did you experience long-term diarrhea? I don't know if that question is for me, but I did not. No, I had it in the beginning, light diarrhea, and now normal bowel movements. So one of the things with carnivore is your body is assimilating the meat that you're eating. It's one of the most bioavailable foods on the planet. So you're just not creating as much feces. So yeah, as long as when you have bowel movements, it's soft and easily comes out, then you're good. If it's harder or you're having a hard time, increase the fat a little bit, and that can help everything flow better. What are your tips on becoming tired of beef? I've been eating more eggs and bacon, avoiding beef altogether. So you're just sick of beef? I feel you on that. The first month I was on carnivore, hashtag first world problems. I couldn't look at another ribeye. I was like, oh, you know. But I eat beef every day. I just eat different forms of it. Yeah, if you're getting sick of beef, there's a million other meats you can eat. I mean, in our household, we eat beef, pork, like every day. I'm trying to incorporate more seafood into my diet, so I just bought some wild caught walleye and different shellfish and things like that. Tons of eggs, eat a lot of eggs here. Bacon we eat several times a week. But yeah, I mean, just take a break from the beef and then go back to it. I've also found though that only eating when you're really, really hungry, like getting to know your body to where those hunger cues, it's like real hunger. I could now eat a steak every day if I waited to eat until I was super hungry. So I think that also helps with being sick of the beef. Yes, I eat some chicken thighs, sausage, shrimp, fish, seafood, going to try lamb and goat. Yeah, there's just so many options out there. So many. I found a few carbs help. Dr. Berry mentioned some people just need a few. Yes, I completely agree. Some people work better on a little bit of carbs. That kind of goes back to Paul Saladino's, meat and fruit kind of thing. I think for me personally, I came into this, I was overweight due to my twin pregnancy. But I had been holding on to a few extra pounds before that. But metabolically, I was not type 2 diabetic. I was not pre-diabetic, generally healthy. My triglycerides were already super, super low before I started carnivore. So for me, especially since I'm doing more strength training now and more physical activity, perhaps I could tolerate some carbs. But I think, again, highly individualized, and that's something you got to figure out for yourself. And it just takes time, testing, doing little experiments on yourself and seeing, can I tolerate this? Do I feel like crap when I eat this food, or does it make me feel better? And then over time, seeing the trends. Nutrition is hard. It's so hard because there's no one size fits all thing for everyone, Question, is your family also carnivore? So my husband is full carnivore. My boys are not, my twins. They eat meat, a ton of it. They love meat. That's their favorite food. Meat, fruits, and vegetables. And then occasionally, very occasionally, if they're over at their grandma's house, their Baba and Dada's house, they'll have a little bit of bread. We don't eat bread here, so we never have it, but they'll eat it over there. They really don't like junk food. We don't keep any junk food in the house because I have no self-control whatsoever. But like when we'll try to give them a cookie or whatever, they're like, nah. So that's good, I guess. And then dairy, they'll have some milk and a little bit of cheese. They're not really fans of yogurt. So yeah, that's what they eat. They'll have a little bit of grain. Sometimes there's this I use Little Spoon toddler meals, and they have a ravioli dish they'll have. I don't think the carnivore diet's the only healthy way to eat, so I feed them what I think is another healthy diet. And they're huge. They're in the 99th percentile of height and weight. They're not even 2, and they're freaking massive. Not like chunky, they're just like sturdy. We like to call them sturdy boys, so whatever I'm doing, it's working well. Let's see here. High Tech Hillbilly, thank you. Thank you for joining me. Get some rest. That's why I did the live stream a little early tonight. I have help tonight with the boys, so I figured let's do that so then I can get into bed at 9 o'clock and pass out. Tomorrow is a very, very busy day, like every day in the Mitich household. Thanks, Trickster. StreamYard, yes. So StreamYard is, I think, the live streaming platform that I'm going to try. I had downloaded OBS, but never really played with it. And I just got a new computer that has a dope webcam. So I'm gonna be doing some of that. Does anybody else have Any questions? They can be carnivore related, blood work related, keto related, children related, anything related. Just, you know, keep it kind, keep it nice. What is on the plate? So I think I talked about in the last live stream that I had attempted to do the lion diet for, well, I was going to try to do it for 60 days. I made it 16. It did not agree with me. I think part of that problem was I was kind of doing a lazy lion. So it was not working out for me. So I think I'm going to revisit the lion diet in January. I think I'm going to try to do it, yeah, January through the whole month of January. We'll see. We'll see. I think my next experiment for food, I think I'm going to try to do beef, seafood, eggs, and butter. So basically like a BBB&E, but instead of pork or bacon, doing seafood. So I think that's something I might try in between the boy's birthday and Thanksgiving, because I gotta have my turkey on Thanksgiving. Kid question, got a 9-month-old with an ear infection. He hates the bubble gum, amoxicillin, and when we try to give it to him, it is a mission. He spits it out. Any tips? Yeah. 9 months is young. I'm trying to remember back when they were that young. So we have the little, you know, plastic syringes that come with it. And we typically just sing a little song like, yum, yum, yum. All right. And just do a little tiny bit. And I always have one of our burp cloths. I don't have one with me. One of our little burp cloths right underneath. And I just kind of squirt it in. And then I kind of go like this on their mouth and just, so they can't really spit it out. Not like blocking, you know what I mean. Just kind of getting it in. You just got to get it in them however you can, because it will help in the long run. But typically, hold them down and make them take it. I'm kidding. I don't know. I mean, with the twins, it's one of two ways. It's either they are like, okay, I'll take the medicine, or they're like, rah, and we have to hold them down and, you know, do it that way. So it's a struggle. That's a struggle. My boys have not had an ear infection yet. So that's, I know, is terrible. Terrible for little ones, especially when they can't talk and express themselves. So I'm very sorry you're going through that. All right, question. Any tips for carnivore content creation? I mean, so for me, that's been something I've been trying to figure out. I'm trying to balance my channel. Before the carnivore diet was a homemaking, parenting, and self-care type channel. So I still want to talk about things that I'm passionate about, like the Halloween decor stuff. I freaking love Halloween. So I'm always going to create those videos. They're not going to be as highly viewed as like my blood work video. But I have to strike a balance between creating content that I'm passionate about, that I enjoy making, and stuff that you like. So it's, and stuff that you will watch. So it's kind of like figuring out the intersection between the two. So a lot of experimentation. I've been trying to do a little bit of vlog style content, and then the stuff that I'm doing with all the blood work and everything. I went that direction with content because I am kind of a dork and I like to do experiments. I love reading. I love reading. I'm constantly reading and learning. It's one of the joys of passions of my life is learning. I want to learn as much as possible in the whatever amount of time I have on this planet. So that's something where I feel like my passion for the topic comes through in the video content. And I think that helps too. So as far as brainstorming, I don't know. I just try to figure out, you know, what I think you guys would want to watch. And I'm always open to suggestions from my audience as well. Like that one recipe that I'm going to be releasing soon came directly from a viewer. So yeah, that's kind of how I balance content creation. I would like to move into, what's up? Are you leaving?
Yeah, I'm leaving.
Okay,
I just wanted to see your
sorry.
steak on the ground.
Oh, my beef sirloin steak.
Yeah.
It's getting all thawed. I just wanted to show the people. I'll see you tomorrow, Sage.
Okay,
Thank you.
see ya.
Are they asleep?
No, not yet, but I gave them one last bottle.
Okay. They're quiet. That's all that matters.
Yes.
All right. I'll see you tomorrow. Drive safe.
See you
So yeah, that's kind of what I do for content creation. It's kind of a balancing act. We'll see. I would also like to move into interviewing some of the major names in the space. I have some questions about like ApoB, about specific blood work related things. I'm really interested in visceral fat, so I'd love to talk to Dr. Sean O'Mara. I'd love to talk to a few different practicing physicians in this space that work with patients day in and day out to tweak a few things. I think that would be really cool. So that's kind of, you know, what I do for content creation. All right. All right, so Anna is experiencing the same thing. I quit today because I'm going through menopause, and for some reason when I go carnivore, the hot flashes and insomnia gets horrible. Plus, I stopped losing weight. What were you doing before carnivore? Were you doing like more of a keto, or were you doing a lower carb, or were you just doing, what were you doing before? Yeah, with a bit of juice in a sippy cup. That's a good tip for getting kids to take their medicine. Very true. Oh, thank you, Katie. Arise. Yes, that is the name of the theme for my exterior Halloween decor. I went with witches this year, and they are raising a bunch of skeletons from the dead for their All Hallows Eve ritual. It's very fun. I made a giant cauldron. It's like 3 foot by 4 foot with this huge like base that's made out of spray foam and different plastic bones and wood and shit. I'm a weirdo. I freaking love Halloween. And it's so funny because my husband just couldn't care less about Halloween, and it's not like he is like, oh, you're putting up decorations. He's just not into it, you know, but I love it. And I used to only do exterior, but now I've been doing interior decor too because of the children. Well, it's mostly because of me. I like to use them as an excuse to spend money on Halloween decor, but it gets the job done. Oh, no, that's great, Ellie. I love answering questions. This is the whole reason I do live streams, just so I can talk to you guys. And I find it to be quite fun. I love it. Thank you, AP. Go to sleep, get your rest. Sleep is one of the most important things you can do for yourself. I think we all need to get more sleep. So we have about 9 minutes left. Does anybody else have any burning questions or things that they would like to discuss or ask? Again, I'm gonna have that interior Halloween decor vlog / the beef tallow chocolate crunch bar recipe video. It's short and sweet. I think it ended up like 10 minutes long. I'm gonna release that tomorrow. I just have to throw together a description. It's uploading as we speak, so that's good. And I really, really need to get that Cyfox video done. I really want to share that one with you guys because they're kind of blowing up a little bit, the Cyfox Health at-home blood test. I see them everywhere now. Maybe that's just because I've been using their product, but I see them in a bunch of advertisements and all that kind of thing. And I just want to get that out there so that people can see if they're accurate or not. All right, last call for questions. Last call. Like I said, I don't think we're going to be doing a live stream next week because it's the children's birthday week, and it's going to be very busy. Fun, but busy. I don't know if I'm going to film a video of the party. I may share some highlights of the party over on Instagram. So my handle on Instagram is Mama Mitich. Mitich is the last name. And I'm posting over there every single day. Lots of fun stories, sharing our lives with you guys. All right, I'm not getting any more questions, so I'm gonna sign off a little bit early while the children are still sleeping. Thank you so much for joining me. This is awesome. And I will put up, I'll schedule us another live stream here, probably not next week, but the following week. I'm really trying to do these weekly. Thank you, Simply Animal Based. I am hoping to have a wonderful time at the party. It should be. It's gonna be pretty epic. We have a bouncy house, bartender. We get this food catered from this wonderful Serbian place in the city, and a DJ. It's mostly a party for adults. There will be a few children, including my own, but It's gonna be super, super fun. So that should be good. But with that, I'm gonna go to sleep. So thank you so much for joining me, and I will see you in 2 weeks for live stream. Watch out for all the videos that are being released, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.